And on this video, we're going to be discussing the state of the 2021 Texas Rangers. Let's get into it. What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast on the Laracuente Legend Network. And as I said in the open, today we are going to be discussing the state of the 2021 Texas Rangers. But before we get into it, make sure if you haven't already done so, you smash that subscribe button down below, as it does a huge help for us here at the channel and helps us continue pushing up the YouTube algorithm, which allows us to bring you even more content each and every single week. So let's get into it. When it comes to the 2021 Texas Rangers, as we get into some of these opening thoughts here, this is going to be a club that is going to find itself competing at the bottom of the American League West. There's no doubt this team is going to struggle, but it's also going to be a year of discovery. When you're looking at teams that are kind of in that mid to rebuilding level, there's a lot of young players that come up and get opportunities, but you're also going to find littered throughout the club a lot of veteran players looking to make a second go around, and that's what we're going to see a lot of here with the Texas Rangers. So let's get into some of the moves that they did this offseason. First and foremost, they would sign Kohei Arihara out of the NPB, the Nippon Professional Baseball League in Japan. The 28-year-old right-hander would compile over his previous 6 years in Japan an ERA of 3.74, which isn't something great to write home about, and a very minuscule strikeout per 9 percentage of 6.7. Now, when you look at those numbers and try to translate them over to the major leagues, it does not fare very well. But what Arihara is known for is not walking people. So when you throw the ball in the zone, when you pitch strikes, there's always going to be an opportunity for someone to make a play. So to me, this was a very nice signing by the Texas Rangers. It's a 2-year, $6.2 million deal for the right-hander out of Japan. We would also see the Texas Rangers be involved in a trade with the Oakland A's. Now, that's something that we covered in our States of the Oakland A's video, as well as the trade itself when it happened. When looking at what this deal is, to me, and I said it in that video when we covered it, that this is just a swap. We would see Elvis Andrus from the Rangers going to the Oakland A's, and Chris Davis, then of the Oakland A's, heading to the Texas Rangers. Now, many Oakland fans believe that Chris Davis's best days are behind him. I personally believe that there is an opportunity for kind of a chip on his shoulder after being traded away, seemingly just to be gotten rid of off of the Oakland A's roster. Then he could find a way to regain some of that bat speed and become a threat once again. Now, is he ever going to be a guy who's going to compete for a batting title? Absolutely not. But this is a guy who can put up 40 home run power. We've seen it before, and it's potential to happen again. I also think that having a threat like Chris Davis in the lineup will help protect Joey Gallo in that Texas Rangers lineup, who otherwise really wouldn't have very much protection in that lineup. But we'll get into the offense in just a moment. Now, the other thing that the Rangers would do would be a absolutely ridiculous amount of minor league signings with invites to spring training. So this is where, to me, the Rangers roster is going to fill itself out. There's going to be a few young players kind of scattered in with the major league roster, but most of it is going to be players looking to make a second impression, looking to get back to the major league roster on a team that is going to have a lot of influx, a lot of taxiing back and forth between the minor league complex and the major leagues team. So to me, this is where the Rangers roster will fill out, and it's going to be kind of hard to figure out exactly who they will be up until the end of spring training. But let's get into the state of the rotation of the Texas Rangers. When you look at what this rotation is featuring, there's only 3 names that are kind of known names in terms of the starting pitching market. Mike Foltynewicz, who we covered when they signed him, Kyle Gibson, and Jordan Lyles are the 3 biggest names in terms of the Rangers starting rotation. Beyond that is going to be kind of a battle who's going to see of who will emerge as the 4th and 5th contenders for the rotation. But basically, there's going to be a lot of competition in Texas Rangers spring training for those rotation spots. Now, as we get into the state of the bullpen for the Texas Rangers, this to me will see just as much competition as the final few spots in the rotation. There are really no recognizable names for Major League Baseball fans outside of Jose Leclerc, and for most national fans, he's not even very well known. So I think when you look at this Rangers bullpen, there's going to be a lot of mixing and matching, a lot of kind of spare parts thrown together to be a team made up of the sum of their parts, not their individual parts. So it will be an interesting mix and an interesting team to watch in spring training, as there are going to be a lot of battles, and we're going to see a lot of players trying to really step up and make an impression so that they make the Major League roster in 2021. Now, as we get into the state of the offense for the Texas Rangers, to me, this begins and ends with Joey Joey Gallo. There's no doubt about it. He is without question the best player on the Texas Rangers. Now, the one thing about that is that that's the guy that teams are going to game plan around. They're not going to let Joey Gallo beat them. So he's likely not going to see a very good amount of pitches that are easily hittable. Now, obviously, there's always mistakes, and Joey Gallo will crush those. But the problem is going to be is that can Joey Gallo rebound from his very poor showing in 2020? Yes, he's going to face even more similar situations and circumstances as he had in 2020 without having anybody of real protection in that lineup. To me, this is where if Chris Davis can get back to the slugger that he was, he provides a threat and protection for Joey Gallo, which should allow Joey Gallo to have a much better season. Now, there are guys on this Texas Rangers roster that will be interesting to watch. We never really know what we're going to get from Rougned Odor, but this is a small power-packed swing coming from the left side of the plate. You also have to look at a guy like Iser Kanafalefa, who to me is one of the more underrated overall talents in baseball. Is he going to be a guy that's going to blow you away? Probably not. But when you're looking for a day-to-day guy who's able to play shortstop, third base, second base, and put up good at-bats, to me, Kanafalefa is an unknown quantity and an underrated value. So there are a couple of pieces on this Rangers roster to look forward to offensively speaking, but overall they're going to very much struggle because without having legitimate threats and protections for Joey Gallo, he's not really going to be allowed to be the threat to beat a team each and every single night. So now as we get into the state of the franchise as a whole, the Texas Rangers are going to struggle. There's very little doubt about that. When you look at what this team is going to be, again, they're going to be competing for the bottom of the division in the American League West with the Seattle Mariners. Baseball Prospectus has them finishing with a predicted record of 67-95, and I tend to believe that it's going to be close to that number. While I do believe that Texas will probably finish around 70 wins, maybe just over, they are still going to be an under 500 team. I think when you look at the amount of battles that are going to be happening in spring training just to gain a spot on the roster, that to me is where this team is really going to struggle. They're going to have a very difficult time finding their identity in 2021. And when that goes forward, the question really is going to become how long until Joey Gallo is traded. So this has been our breakdown for the 2021 Texas Rangers, and I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What are your feelings about the Texas Rangers? Where will they end up in the American League standings in 2021? So let me know those thoughts down there, and we will discuss it further. As always, if you haven't already done so, make sure you smash that subscribe button with the like and the bell as well, as it does a huge service for us here at the Laracuente Legend Network and allows us to continue pushing up the YouTube algorithm, which in turn allows us to bring you even more content each and every single week. And to get the full Laracuente Legend Network experience, make sure you head over to patreon.com/Laracuente Legend Network and join us there, as your support is what allows us to continue bringing this content and even more that's incoming on the way. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time out to join me here on the state of the 2021 Texas Rangers, and I will catch you guys when the latest news, notes, or my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions have to be dropped about the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.